The first question here, how has your experience been with the traditional mental treatments, and would you be willing to try something new?
Lots of the people who come to us have tried lots of different things. They've done psychotherapy, they've done medication. Neurofeedback is rarely the first thing they try, but that's not currently how it works. Our argument in neurofeedback is that should be like the last option. The only time for medications are in dire circumstance situations. Medications are not designed as long-term interventions. Nobody's done a study on these medications past 6 months, maybe a year. What's the effect of benzodiazepines? I can tell you it's not good. As I can see it in human experience, I know what happens to these people. The theory behind the medication intervention is wrong-headed. We're not medical providers, but I understand the principles. You look at meditative posture in the world. How well can you calm yourself as a human being? What are your spiritual connections to your family, your friends, to nature? They call them the 6 pillars of lifestyle medicine. Exercise, just physical exercise. You don't have to go to the gym, walk around. These are really simple things. Diet, nutrition. Nutrition is fundamental to best mental health. If you are eating junk food, your brain isn't going to work very well. It's as simple as that. You can't live at the 7-Eleven and count that as your source of nutrition. People don't sleep enough. They stay up, they're on their phones, it's 11:30, they're scrolling through their, stop, put that down, get some real sleep. It's the restorative place that your brain and your body, by the way, repair itself. It prepares you for the next day. If you abuse that, your next day is not going to go well. Your next week, your next month, your next year. You have to have consistently good restorative sleep. Those first 4 are really like the basics, the connection. And the other one is stop consuming things that are hurting you. That includes bad food, but also includes alcohol, cigarettes, drugs, all of it, including, by the way, prescribed medications. These are not helping your brain heal itself. They're not helping your body heal itself. It has almost full capacity. There are a handful of things that I could say that's a requirement. Insulin. If your pancreas doesn't produce, you need to take insulin. There's no argument around that. But most of the medications that were prescribed culturally, you could fix a lot of different ways and avoid a lot of pain. And certainly true in the mental health field. All of them, from the Zolofts to all of the drugs that get commonly prescribed, have a very limited use in acute situations. They are not long-term management strategies. That's the long way of saying people who come to us have already tried all that. They've been down the medication road. They've had 5 years of psychotherapy. They still don't feel well, and they're wondering why. Our answer is you haven't fixed your brain circuits. Source of your issues, your anxiety, the depression, migraine headaches, panic attacks. This is your brain screaming out to you, there's a problem in here, and I'm going to get your attention. I'm going to make you feel so bad that you do something about it. Doing something about it is not covering up that symptom. That's the alert. You feel like that all the time because your brain circuits are propelling you to quote unquote feel that way. Fix the brain circuit that gives rise to that feeling. Now you can go on about your life and you don't need to take an anti-anxietal. The clients that come to us have experimented with all of that and it hasn't worked for them. You're messing with systems that are finely tuned to work properly, and we're inserting ourselves with a chemical solution that isn't appropriate. Chemistry does not push brain function. Electricity does. The chemicals are there to support, enhance, ameliorate, make more efficient normal electrical function that happens in the brain. Address the electrical realities, you'll solve the problem downstream.
As someone who will be interested, is the balanced brain rewiring mental health, how it can help people who may be struggling with mental health conditions and challenges. John, please tell us, how do you think the general public's understanding of mental health is evolving?
Mental health has been kind of over the centuries has evolved from evil spirits, possession by the devil, all kinds of esoteric viewpoints on mental health. I think what we're finally realizing is that there's so much biology involved, that it's less conscious than we ever thought. There's some deep biology that goes into mental health challenges, anxiety, depression, the things that people have really started to recognize the role of brain circuit behavior in how we feel. Feeling is an interpretation. It's a conscious level of a deeper inner experience that literally the brain, the organ itself is having. Challenges, pulling together sensory information in an appropriate way. It's confused. It doesn't know how to act properly. It doesn't know how to respond properly. If there's a challenge anywhere in that system, the behavior that you wish to exhibit isn't going to be accurate to the moment. But if the organic structure of the brain, the circuits themselves aren't producing the appropriate information for you, your behavior is therefore going to suffer. It's going to be different. It's going to be not what you expect, not what you intend. The alert mechanisms of the diagnoses that people come in here with, the panic attacks, the depression, the anxiety, the PTSD, it's not about you have a character flaw. You're an alcoholic, you're a drug addict. It's a problem you have. Your brain is driving you to seek out substances or actions that make itself feel better. It doesn't know that it's not very good for you to take heroin. It's just thinking, I feel better when I do. It's your brain talking, not your consciousness talking. Some of our animal ancestors, that's how they operate. Their entire structure of life is reactive in nature. They're predetermined to do certain things because that's the way their brains operate. They don't have a cortex. They don't have the ability to learn. That's one of the joys of being a human being is we can learn new behaviors all the time. We always do. The trick is to learn good behaviors, to replace bad behaviors with good behaviors, to teach the brain to operate more efficiently, with more stability, with more proactive consciousness in terms of itself, so that our behaviors match our expectation. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to perform in a certain way. You don't have to have a conscious awareness of it even. The brain is observing itself in real time. That's the experience of neurofeedback. It is learning from observing itself and making adjustments because that's what it's designed to do. It's designed to take in good information, discard bad information, replace the bad information with good information. We point it in the direction of stability, flexibility, and purpose, circuit behaviors. That's why what we do here at the Balanced Brain is to try to help our clients investigate those other components. Biggest one being nutrition. Your brain is only going to work as well as the food that gets delivered to it, the nutritional components of that food. You have to eat well. You have to sleep. You have to allow the brain the time to repair itself in the rest periods. When we abuse those two things, nutrition and sleep, you're going to have a world of troubles. The other elements that are obviously important are your social life, your relationships with your family, your friends, your loved ones, your relationship with nature. We have to be out in nature. We have to exercise. Doesn't mean you have to go to the gym and become a bodybuilder. You have to just walk around, just move. There's a huge benefit to just simple walking. We don't do enough of that. We're leading a much more sedentary life than we ever have in our history. We all like a cocktail or two. We got to minimize that as much as possible. Alcohol is a poison. We all know it. We enjoy it occasionally, moderation in all things, minimizing our toxic intake. It all has an impact on how our brain and our body